Mobil One The Grid gets underway today on two wheels as we check in with Red Bull KTM. With second place in MotoGP's constructor standings, 2023 was a strong year for Red Bull KTM factory racing. With an upgraded RC16, this season's goal is to convert raw pace and dynamic starts into Grand Prix victories.
This year, we achieved, I think, the best start of the season ever, having 3 podiums in the first 3 races, 2 second place and 1 third, with 2 different riders. So looks like this season could be the right one. Who knows?
In the last sort of 14 months, 15 months, you know, the bike's come a massive way. I think we've got one of the best bikes on the grid. We've got a great package there, and you know, we've been a little bit unlucky, but all the pieces are there. It's just a matter of putting them all together to get the results that the team deserve.
Podium finishes in the sprint and Grand Prix races in Qatar were a great start to the campaign. Brad Binder's rides highlighting the pre-season development work by test team riders Pol Espargaro and Dani Pedrosa.
I think riders are pretty happy about the overall performance of the bike, meaning the balance of the bike. They see that the bike is compensated in all areas in a certain way that allows them to do good things, good starts, overtakes, qualifying and so on.
We changed our aero package up quite a lot and worked on the downforce of the bike. And of course, when you change those elements, you really need to readjust the balance. So it's always a bit of a challenge, but it's super fast down the straight clearly, and we've got good stopping, good stability.
We approved the carbon chassis, and it's a brand new technology in the new era. Engine performance, of course, we improved quite a lot, and we've done another important step in the electronic department.
We had a big focus on the homologated parts over the winter, means mainly the aero and the engine. And WP, our suspension supplier, brought a new package that we had to set up and get familiar with. It brought us quite a step forward. So I would say nothing super radical, but quite clear and impressive improvements over the winter.
The improved RC16 carried Binder and Jack Miller to 4th and 5th place finishes in Portugal and brought a sprint race podium for home hero Pedrosa in Spain. But a Sunday Grand Prix victory has remained elusive.
Sunday victory is really effect from the Friday morning, especially with the new format from last year where the Q2 is decided on Friday afternoon. It's crucial to go to Q2, it's a key to have a good weekend.
It is tough. The championship's thick at the moment with talent, with competitive machines. So week in, week out, you don't really know who your main opposition is going to be. But when you do get those results, when you do get the goal you've been striving for, it's all the more special when you know each one of those guys is working just as hard as you are to try and achieve those goals.
I think our top speed advantage over our competitors is something that we can always keep in our pocket, and it's something amazing as a rider to always have to fall back on. I think the one point we can work on is maybe just a little bit of extra turning at the moment would go a long way.
Only Aprilia have dented Ducati's domineering start to the season, but as the European races come thick and fast, the Austrian squad are pushing hard to match their Italian rivals.
Just need a few things to align and we'll be there. We've got some great tracks coming up and some great races. We'll keep plugging away at it, putting in the work in the weeks off and trying to take the maximum out when we get to the track, and obviously that's the main goal still for everybody here.
Following their 2023 Funny Car title and a third place finish in Top Fuel, Tony Stewart's TSR Nitro team began their third NHRA campaign with high hopes and a new driver behind the wheel of their Top Fuel dragster.
What the Nitro team looks like this year is actually very similar aesthetically. We have the same crew chiefs. We do have a different car. We call it Tony's car, which is a 058 frontal tube chassis. But of course the driver is much different. My husband, Tony Stewart, is replacing me for this season as we look forward to having a family.
Team boss Smoke moves into the Top Fuel seat alongside Funny Car champion Matt Hagan as the two-car team target another successful campaign.
I never would have predicted at the end of our second year that we would win a championship with one car and literally be in the final run of the final event of the season racing for another championship. But that was a career best finishing points for Leah, and obviously that was Matt's 4th championship. So I'm really proud of this group.
You strive your entire career to win a championship, and I've been able to win 4 of them. It's amazing, but you wipe the slate clean, right? Like, and you start over. What you did in the past is great, but now it's a new year.
Honestly, on the top fuel side with me driving the car, I feel like I'm the weakest link at this point. I'm the one that has the most to learn and the most to gain performance-wise as far as what I do inside the car of reaction times and making sure that I do the right things with the steering wheel, staying in the grooves.
After a successful season in the top alcohol class, Smoke steps up to a competitive top fuel category, and wife Leah's 27 years of competition experience is an invaluable aid.
Consistency is absolute key when it comes to driving a nitro car. The cadence, how you do your burnout, the amount of time in and out of the clutch, the way you stage the car, the roll, the bump, brake pressure. All of that is before you ever even really hit the gas. Once you hit the gas, comes down to natural ability.
It's 12,000 horsepower in under 4 seconds. Some seismologists came out, and it's a 2.3 on the Richter scale when 2 fuel cars leave the line. That's a small earthquake, you know? So you can be in the top of the stands, and every organ in your body will vibrate. Where else in any other extreme motorsports can you do anything like that?
If you're not a little bit nervous, you probably don't respect these cars enough. Everything we've done in motorsports, you know, driving Lewis Hamilton's F1 car, being in NASCAR, an IndyCar, sports cars, sprint cars on dirt, all those cars are kind of in the same bubble. Drag racing, it is off on its own island, separate from all the other stuff that goes on. So it is definitely a big learning experience.
There's no doubt that he's a multi-time champion in about anything he's ever stepped into, but he's done a phenomenal job at getting up to speed on all the processes in the car and how the car's reacting, and we're narrowing that margin of how much more we can improve, but that's okay. We're gonna really push at it this year and try and get a championship.
Winning championships takes a complete team effort. With the tuning wisdom of Neil Strasbow and Dickie Venables, the 2 pit crews are aiming to build on a veteran-like performance last season.
My crew is everything to me. I go out there and run 330 miles an hour, knowing I'm strapped to a ticking time bomb, basically, and I trust them with my life. Tony provides the chemistry and the synergy and environment where guys are showing up, they got a smile on their face, they're ready to go to work. You give me 10 group of guys that got a smile on their face and they're ready to go work hard, you're gonna win some races.
The new campaign has seen Matt Hagan pass 50 career wins. Alongside him, Smoke will draw on his 4 decades of experience as he takes on his fastest challenge yet.
If we can finish in the top 5 to 8 cars in the championship points, that would be amazing. Obviously, I'm 50 pounds heavier than my wife, so it's got to drag 50 pounds down the drag strips. But we'll do the best we can, and I think for me personally, if every run that I make, I'm learning something and making myself better for the next run, then that's going to make it a success.
This season, Stewart-Haas Racing has given Josh Barry the keys to the number 4 Ford Mustang Dark Horse. He replaces future Hall of Famer Kevin Harvick. At 33, the Tennessee driver has finally got his shot in the NASCAR Cup Series.
It's been a dream opportunity for sure, and to work with this group. Kevin and Rodney have built a great legacy here with the 4 team, and to step into that opportunity makes me feel really good. It's been a lot of fun to meet everyone at Stewart-Haas Racing and to have such a great team around me, great leader in Rodney. I think we're set up to have a lot of success. The biggest thing is I'm just going to have to get adapted to Cup racing.
Barry's career has been forged in late model racing, where he holds the all-time wins record in Haas Tour history.
I raced for over a decade, racing late model stocks, and really learned to build my own race car, work on my own race car, maintain it, drive the truck and trailer to the racetrack, set it up, kind of everything, right? And it really made me who I am. It prepared me for the opportunities that I was fortunate enough to get later on in my career, and I think it just made for a great story as well.
While racing in late models, Barry has also had opportunities in NASCAR's second tier with Junior Motorsports. He took his first Xfinity Series win at Martinsville in 2021.
Really the best way that I can describe that is kind of like a life-changing moment. We needed to move the needle for me. At that point, I'm a seasoned career short track racer, and we had that one circled as a great opportunity for me. The reality of it is if I don't win that race, I'm not sure that I'm here right now. And that's kind of like the American dream, old school racing type moments that happen, right? It opened the eyes of what I could do behind the wheel. We were able to find some more partners that ultimately led me to be able to run a full season the following year, and it was just a really special day.
4 more Xfinity Series successes followed, plus a win in the All-Star Open last season as he deputised for the injured Alex Bowman. But now he has the opportunity to work with Kevin Harvick's championship-winning crew chief, Rodney Childers, in a full Cup Series campaign.
There's not many young guys that come up through the ranks anymore that have done it the way that he's done it and built his own cars and set them up himself. And he's really intelligent and understands that stuff. And I think long term that will be a huge key in our success, is just being able to talk.
Rodney and myself come from similar backgrounds of the short tracks, grassroots, late models. That's made it really exciting to get to work with him and to learn from him. You kind of have to pinch yourself to believe that you've found such a great opportunity.
I probably have goals higher than what are realistic. Probably believe in Josh maybe more than I should for a rookie season, but I also believe in this team. I want to go out and I want to win a race. I want to sit on a pole. I want to make the playoffs and at least have a shot.
I think our success and how to define that, I think, is kind of a moving target. Being eligible for the Rookie of the Year, I think that sets a pretty standard goal for us to try to go for that. If I can adapt to this new environment, we can find ourselves running the top 10, top 15, and I think if we can stack some runs like that together, we'll be able to make it to the front.
Next up, we get personal with top fuel ace Leah Pruett.
TSR Nitro's Leah Pruett completed the 2023 season at Pomona with a runner-up spot that put her third in the top fuel standings. Her highest ever finish in a career dedicated to the NHRA and spanning almost 3 decades.
Well, the interesting thing about passions in general, you think that they're almost stagnant, but for me, they're not. My passion for motorsports in general came from my father. He was a land speed racer at Bonneville. A small automotive repair shop is what we owned growing up, and that's what I worked in. So I always loved cars, understood them. And then I got to start racing when I was 8 years old. By the time I was 12, I was at a national event just like this, watching the big show. Funny cars, dragsters, ripping 300 miles an hour. The crews completely tearing down the engine, the blowers, the clutch. At that age, I didn't know what these things were, but I knew I wanted to be a part of this mechanical ballet. And so I really focused all of my education, my career, my opportunities towards getting myself in a race car.
After progressing through the junior classes, Pruett made it to the big show and worked her way up the top fuel rankings. Now she's stepping aside to start a family, while husband Smoke takes over driving duties.
That's a decision that did not come very easy. We came off the best season we've ever had, finishing third in the championship. I've been professionally racing for 8 years, 27 years in total. This is my first year taking a step back. And so I do reevaluate my passion. If my passion has always been just in driving, well then I'd be out of luck, but it's not. I love what I get to do in the crew chief lounge with my team. I love continuing to understand our technology, what is making our car run not only as quick as it can be, but championship contention. Where in the past, in the beginning of my career, my passion outside of driving was finding the right marketing partners to allow us the funds to be able to get to the racetrack. Everything is evolutionary. So from the outside looking in, a lot of big Tony fans coming in, but there's also a lot of Leah fans that are wondering, A, when am I getting pregnant? But B, what are the roles that I have here at the new identified team?
The 35-year-old has turned her attention to the technical operation of the TSR Nitro dragsters. But after coming so close last season, she's already dreaming of another shot at the top fuel title.
I've learned to never have a solid plan because life changes. But what I would hope is Tony and I to have established a family, 2 kids or so if we're lucky, and I would already be back in the seat. We'll have already won a world championship. Now, Tony might have a different view. We don't know what's gonna happen when I wanna get back in the car. A, shop space. If Tony and I were to race dragsters against each other, we would need a new crew, a new team. new trailers, new everything to double up. But that's in about 3 or 4 years, so I guess that's a goal to work towards.
Ahead of the season opener at Imola, the Porsche Mobil 1 Supercup grid had the chance to test at Silverstone and prepare for the 2024 campaign.
It's a one-make series, so there's not a lot you can change, but it really means that as a driver you have to refine your style quite a lot, and you have to work really hard with the team as well to bring the most out of it. So it's my 3rd season in Porsche Mobil 1 Supercup, and every test day I'm still learning, so I'm really enjoying the process.
The Porsche Mobil 1 Supercup Championship is the toughest. There is all the best drivers around the world in National Car Cup. They come here to fight each other, so it's really good. It's the best championship, I think, to progress and to learn.
Silverstone is a new track for me, so it's even important for me that I can test here 2 days. It's great fun to drive the car. That's a lot of power, but also a lot of downforce. It's very fast through the fast corners here in Silverstone. It's a lot of fun.
We are here to win the Rookie Championship first of all, and then we will see in the end of the season where we finish overall in the championship. But we aim for a top 5.
We have 24 permanent drivers. In fact, out of these 24, we have 15 drivers that run with the Super Cup for the first time. We will be looking at a very competitive season ahead because we have Larry Tenforde, who is a 2-time champion. We have Harry King, who basically got very close to winning the championship last year. And we got quite a few additional guys that have proven already in the past in National 1 Mix Series how fast they are.
The grid will be back at Silverstone in July, one of the 8 stops following the F1 calendar and putting the series in the spotlight.
It's amazing to be so close with Formula 1. Of course, having this vibe and all these fans. But I also know that Formula 1 drivers are also following all races because we have this half-an-hour sprint race. There's always action. You never know if you're going to win. And this, I think, makes also the Porsche Mobil 1 Supercup be part of the Formula 1. And that's amazing. I think it's really good combined.
It's a big privilege and an honour, first and foremost, to follow the Formula 1 around Europe at the most highly precedented events, for example, Monaco, or my home Grand Prix at Silverstone with huge attendance. It's really quite cool, but the most important thing is you've got the watchful eyes of very important people in the motorsport world.
While the racing will be super competitive this season, it's also an opportunity for Porsche to make important technological advancements.
We use it as a lighthouse project. We use the Super Cup to try out new ideas, and we're quite happy that we are one of the first international racing championships that is using e-fuels to power the car. And since this season we're using the e-fuels that are produced in our own factory in Chile, and we are the first ones to introduce that fuel also in the global world of motor racing.
The raw fuel comes from the Haru Oni pilot plant in Chile and is produced ready for racing through a so-called blending process. This gives the 911 GT3 Cup cars the potential to run almost CO2 neutral. For the drivers, it's also a big year as they look to further their careers in motorsport.
I think if you take the title in the Porsche Mobil 1 Supercup, it speaks volumes not only in the Porsche motorsport world, but also in the world of endurance racing. And I think the ambition and the target remains the same as it's always been, even more so this year. And I think the number on the car sums up the ambition.
This year, me personally, I'm more hungry than ever. The last 2 years, I'm losing the championship by 1 and 3 points. And I think I deserve to be the new champion again. But of course, everyone deserves it in my eyes because we're all here and we're all pushing for the same goal. And I will say the battle is on.
As Corvette's racing program focuses more on customer teams, the American brand has a larger presence than ever on the global stage. Competing in both the WEC and IMSA this season, Daniel Unkadea is the latest driver to join the Detroit marque.
It's a very special move. I've been linked to Mercedes for many years, basically my whole career pretty much, and I felt it was the right time for a change. I think I'm in a sweet spot in my racing career and found a new home in Corvette. I always say it, in the US I was always very surprised with the amount of awareness about Corvette racing and how big it is for the fans, for the people. I would say it's a bit like Ferrari in Europe, big brand, and to be part of that is very special.
After over a decade with Mercedes, it was all changed for the 33-year-old Spaniard. He joined the Corvette ranks for the Z06 GT3R's first full season of competition.
We had 2 test days in December, end of season, and it was pretty much like a shakedown of the new Z06 GT3R, and it was also my first time with the team, with everybody, getting to know everyone. share some time with my teammates as well, and getting to know the car, the systems, how everything works. It's obviously very different. Corvette CO6 GT3R is a mid-engine, so it feels completely like a different philosophy, a different kind of driving. You know, the rear is a bit more loose on entry because of the geometry of the car, basically, and the weight difference where the engine is placed. But I really like it. From the very beginning, I really felt like it suited my driving.
In the first year of the GT3R's IMSA sports car campaign, Leah is sharing driving duties with countryman Antonio Garcia and British driver Alexander Sims.
Antonio is a fellow Spanish driver. He's been very successful, especially in the USA. He's been called the King of Spain. I think he lives up to that name as well. Very experienced within the brand. What can I say? You know, it's like the perfect person to look up to learn from as a newcomer. And Alex is a very easy guy to work with. He's been super successful in every category he's driven in, and full pro lineup as you would expect, you know, up to the standards that you would expect from Corvette racing.
In the World Endurance Championship, the factory pilot is driving with customer team TF Sport. In the next round, they'll be at the Circuit de la Sarthe for the 24 Hours of Le Mans.
It's my first year in WEC, and also that means in Le Mans. I'm racing with a young driver, which is Sebastian Boa. That is also first time in Le Mans, and Hiroshi Koizumi is the amateur driver. And the guys are very good. I'm very excited. Le Mans is obviously the highlight of the year. A lot of expectations, of course, in the Corvette car, because they've been very successful in the past. They won last year, they won the WEC championship, so first year I want to enjoy. And when I enjoy, I think I deliver, I perform, and if that's happening, I'm sure we will be right up there.
Next time, we're behind the scenes of the 24 Hours of Le Mans and get technical with the next-gen NASCAR. See you then on Mobil One The Grid.